If you think taking a medication like PPIs, omeprazole, or Pepcid, famotidine is enough to heal your reflux, I am begging you to reconsider your reflux relief plan. While these medications can be helpful in the short term, and I personally took PPIs for over a year, it's really important that you know that PPIs, medications alone, are not enough to treat reflux. If you're new here, my name is Molly. I'm a registered dietitian specializing in acid reflux, GERD, and LPR. I recovered from GERD myself. I had GERD for over a decade, and I was able to put my symptoms in remission and wean off all acid suppression. So I started this YouTube channel to help you overcome your symptoms and take back your health. So be sure to like this video, subscribe down below, let me know if you're new here. So in this video, I'm going to explain a few reasons why your medication may not be working for your GERD or LPR symptoms and a few actionable strategies on what to do next. The most common reason that I see PPIs not working for people's GERD symptoms is because they do not address the root cause of your acid reflux symptoms. Everywhere you look on the internet, you're gonna see these blanket statements like acid reflux is caused by H. pylori, all acid reflux is caused by low stomach acid, all acid reflux is caused by lower esophageal sphincter issues. If you ever see someone giving a blanket statement like all blank is due to this, or all people with this condition should avoid this food, like those are red flags, because newsflash, nutrition is not that simple. We go to school for 6 years to study nutrition. It's not that simple, and it's highly individual. And it's the same thing when it comes to reflux. So when it comes to reflux, it's really important that we understand first how these medications are working in our body. PPIs, proton pump inhibitors, reduce our stomach acid secretions so that if you do reflux, it is now less acidic. However, it does nothing to actually stop the reflux. The act of stomach contents moving into the esophagus can still occur, it's just less acidic. So for some people, they may have hyperacidity. And in that scenario, PPIs could actually be addressing their root cause. But for a lot of people, their reflux might not be caused by hyperacidity. It could be caused by a malfunctioning lower esophageal sphincter. It could be caused by a bacterial imbalance like small intestinal bacterial overgrowth or EMO, intestinal methanogenic overgrowth. It could also be caused by motility issues, so slow stomach emptying or gastroparesis. There's a lot of reasons why someone may have reflux that don't have anything to do with stomach acid. Now, before we go any further, I want to emphasize, do not change or stop your medication as a result of this video without talking to your doctor first. I personally was on PPIs for over a year, and they played a really important role in my healing plan. But it's really important that we know that PPIs alone are not enough. So I'm not anti-PPI, but you need to know that nutrition and lifestyle will need to be a part of your reflux relief plan because of the reasons in this video. You might be wondering right now, what can I do if I have a lower esophageal sphincter issue? So let me know if you want to make a video on that in the future. Comment down below and I can make a video all about the lower esophageal sphincter. And if you want to know more root causes of reflux, definitely check out my video on root causes of reflux right here. So the next reason why your PPI may not be working for your reflux symptoms is because you have LPRD. LPR, also known as laryngopharyngeal reflux, also known as silent reflux, is a type of reflux that's actually caused by pepsin. So with this type of reflux, you might not feel heartburn. You might actually just feel symptoms of throat burn, like something is stuck in your throat, difficulty breathing, voice changes, nasal passages might be burning, coughing. Those are just a few symptoms of LPR, and it can be really confusing because you're not having heartburn, but those symptoms are driven by reflux. They are driven by reflux moving into the esophagus, and in that reflux, there's an enzyme called pepsin. Pepsin is an enzyme that digests proteins, but when it moves into the esophagus, pepsin can actually burrow into the tissues of the esophagus. And when pepsin is in the tissues, it's very inflammatory. It can be very painful. It can cause a lot of inflammation and mucus production, coughing, difficulty breathing, difficulty swallowing. So with this scenario, PPIs may not be as helpful. And research does show that PPIs might not be as effective in treating LPR as things like diet and lifestyle, reducing the acidity of the diet and pausing reflux triggers so this inflammation can go down. Secondly, alginates, using an alginate therapy, using an alginate suspension like reflux raft that creates a little gel raft at the top of the stomach. to physically prevent reflux can be helpful for LPR. Usually people with LPR need about an 8 to 12 week period where we are pausing the reflux triggers so that tissue can regenerate without pepsin. So diet and lifestyle is often, I've seen in my experience, more helpful than medications. Now, that doesn't mean that medications are not helpful, but it might just mean you need to have a conversation with your healthcare provider about incorporating other strategies like alginates and dietary changes as well. Probably the biggest reason why I see medications not solving the reflux problem is because you are straight up ignoring your diet. A lot of people are absolutely ignoring that their diet might be contributing to reflux. And I don't necessarily mean the obvious things like removing the reflux triggers or avoiding coffee and alcohol. A lot of people are actually doing those things. They're removing the reflux triggers, but they're still experiencing symptoms on a PPI. And that might be because you're actually ignoring the size of your meal and the timing of your meal. So you really need to be aware of your hunger and fullness cues if you struggle with reflux. You never want to let yourself get too hungry or too full. You really want to try to create a mealtime schedule where you are eating about every 3 to 4 hours while awake. Small frequent meals for the win. They really help to reduce reflux symptoms because smaller meals put less pressure on the sphincter. It allows the sphincter to work better. It's also less food at one time for your body to break down and digest. A lot of people are also eating late at night. Even if you're not incorporating the reflux triggers at night, eating late at night can cause reflux symptoms. We really ideally want your stomach to be mostly empty before you lay down. So that means eating dinner about 3 hours before you lay down. So some people may be ignoring certain lifestyle factors like their meal size, meal timing, and meal composition that could be contributing to the reflux and breakthrough symptoms while on a PPI. Number 4, another reason why your PPI or your medication may not be helping your reflux symptoms is because the root cause of your reflux symptoms is actually low stomach acid. Low stomach acid can be a root cause of digestive issues, including small intestinal bacterial overgrowth and reflux. Because if you don't have enough digestive juices, enough stomach acid to break down your food, this can create a lot of bloating, indigestion, which can put pressure on the lower esophageal sphincter and cause it to malfunction. Also, your stomach has to be a certain pH for your lower esophageal sphincter to close properly after a meal. Know what you're thinking now is, okay, so maybe I should just take apple cider vinegar or betaine HCl. I would caution you with this approach, because while it can help some people, it can also do some damage. If you have gastritis or esophagitis and you reflux while taking these acid supplements, this can be potentially very dangerous and problematic. And if you have LPR, that pepsin in your tissues, taking an acid will activate that pepsin. So it's not an approach that I usually recommend. I prefer to think about, why would your body not be producing enough stomach acid? One of the biggest reasons why someone is not producing enough stomach acid is actually chronic unmanaged stress. When you are stressed, this tells your body to down-regulate your digestive juices, and we cannot digest at an optimal rate when we are stressed. Your body is sending blood flow to your brain, to your limbs, in case you need to run from a tiger. So chronic unmanaged stress can result in reflux and lowered stomach acid. Number 2 is micronutrient deficiencies. If you are not getting enough nutrition, or you're deficient in lots of vitamins, this can be really impactful for your stomach acid production. You need adequate protein, adequate B12, iron, magnesium, zinc, other B vitamins so that you can produce enough stomach acid. Number 5, another huge reason that I see PPIs not working for people with reflux or GERD or LPR is because they are ignoring stress. Is a major root cause of reflux. And I just mentioned how stress can downregulate your digestive enzyme and stomach acid production, but stress can also impact your vagus nerve. And your vagus nerve is intricately connected to the flow of your digestion, your motility. Your vagus nerve also controls the opening and closing of the lower esophageal sphincter at the top of the stomach and the post-pyloric sphincter at the bottom of the stomach. So if you are constantly living in a state of fight or flight, if your nervous system is constantly on high alert, this can really wreak havoc on your digestive system and can be a trigger for recurring reflux. And therefore, if you're taking a PPI to reduce stomach acid, but you're doing nothing to support your nervous system and your sphincter health, then this can leave you susceptible to continued reflux. So to recap, PPIs and H2 blockers have their time in place to reduce inflammation, or in the case of Barrett's esophagus, which I have a full video right here on, they can be helpful to heal that tissue. However, they are not enough to fully put your reflux symptoms in remission. You also have to consider nutrition, lifestyle, strategic supplementation, and nervous system health. Now, you might be wondering, where do I start? I have so many resources for you. Be sure to take a look at my reflux-friendly grocery haul. I will link it here so you can take a look at a wide variety of reflux-friendly foods to get you started on your reflux healing journey. And I also have a free reflux-friendly meal plan down below for you, 3 days of reflux-friendly meals and snacks. Be sure to grab that down below, totally free. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel, leave me a comment if you're new, and I'll see you at the next one.